I came into writing this book, I was a super fan who thought like Dave was like the Easter Bunny or Santa Claus, like this beloved person. And then I got a little too close to the flame and I saw how the magic tricks are done and it's ugly. It's very, very ugly. But my experience is every single musician except Rocket Rashad, uh, who will just tell you outright that he doesn't like Dave. Every other person, when you go, what was it like working with Dave? They're like jump reactions. Oh, Dave's the best. I love
Yeah.
Dave's awesome. I learned so much from Dave. Man, that guy, let me tell you, showmanship 101. I'm still doing things I learned today. Then once they know that you know, the wall drops.
Yeah.
And like I interviewed two former drummers of his today for a DLR cast that's coming out pretty soon. And what we talked about on the air is very different than what we talk about off the air with relation to Dave. They're
Yeah.
they're very polite about Dave publicly. That's my experience.
This wasn't concerning Dave, but I've had that experience on podcasts too, where they're all smiling about it. And then when the camera's off, he goes, "Oh God."
Daryl Hall's a great guy. I learned so much. Daryl Hall is so easy to work with. Off the record. Like that.
Yeah, little enough. I saw that tour too in '91, I believe was, and Cinderella
Nice.
and Extreme opened. I don't know what it may have been because I was playing in a band at the time and I wasn't keeping as good a track of things as I normally do. Or and it then also I have to consider pre-internet and where you information is available all the time. We didn't know that Jason had got sick. We didn't know any of that
Right.
when we saw him. We were excited to see Jason Becker. And then what's it, Joe Holmes,
Joe Holmes, yeah. And
and
then some dates also Desi Rex on second guitar.
right. And I remember it because I wanted to hear some of those new songs, and they didn't play any of them. They did.
Yes.
They did California Girls, Yankee Rose, and then almost the entire show was just old Van Halen stuff, which was people there dug, but I wanted to hear some of the Dave stuff too.
Yeah, I don't it's sacrilegious to say this outward in an outward way. I don't think A Little Ain't Enough is a great album by any stretch of
No,
the
oh
imagination.
no,
It has a couple of great songs that I don't get tired of, but I think listening to that whole thing through is a process. And
yes,
it's probably the worst album Bob Rock ever did.
yeah,
The Bob Rock quality control is just not there on this album. And not that you asked, I'm just volunteering my opinion. I think it's because Dave did not write these songs on the album. He's credited as the co-writer, but my experience in interviewing Robbie Neville was he said he wrote two of the songs, he demoed them, he fleshed them out,
yeah.
and it sounds like Dave maybe changed the vocal lines a little bit or changed the lyrics a little bit, but these are not Dave songs. This was like a lazy album, like writing wise. And I don't think that Skyscraper or Eat 'em and Smile were lazy in terms of
No, oh, yeah, you're right. It was an entirely different thing. On those songs like that Steve Hunter and Brett Tuggle were involved in, I bet that a lot of those songs that they were mainly responsible for, Dave just did a little bit or enough to get his name on there. But it really doesn't
yeah,
sound like Dave songs.
yeah. For all we know, is the Elvis kind of thing where they go, "Hey, you could either give me half
Yeah,
and have half of an album that's going to be a hit, or you can keep it. Which one would you like?" And that was a common kind of practice in the olden days. Less so these days. That allegedly that's what happens with Beyonce, and that's why no two Beyonce songs sound anything alike, and they all have outside writers. So it
yeah.
happens with superstar artists.
Yeah, I'm a big Jerry Reed fan. I grew up, my dad had all his I mean, I knew him as a musician before I ever saw him as Smoking the Bandit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, he's the only person that didn't have to give up his publishing to Elvis because I guess they told him they did a couple songs, Guitar Man and U.S. Mail and a couple other. But I remember after recording it, they told him, well, you're going to have to give up half your publishing. He goes, well, then forget it. He said no. And Elvis wanted to do it so bad that he went ahead and did like 3 or 4 songs with him. But he's the only one that got by with that. You had to give up 50% of your publishing. That's the reason Dolly wouldn't let him do her song.
Yeah, I Will Always Love You. That's the
Yeah.
story of all that. I could see pros and cons of both ways. That I've heard the metaphor of like 10% of a watermelon is a lot more than 100% of a grape.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can come up with a better thing like that, but in a way, you're putting your song onto something that's going to sell, and then people are
Big
going to
time.
go, "Oh, who did that? What have you done?"
Yeah.
So in a way, I think in your beginning of your career, you do have to sign a bad deal or 3, and then over time you will renegotiate all of your deals.
Yeah.
In other words, every bad deal that John Bon Jovi put you in, you will know never to do one of those deals again. Allegedly.
That's right. You remember you say we have to say allegedly 5 times.
Yeah, you say allegedly. I don't want to be in court forever because John Bon Jovi doesn't like something I said. But if you look at the deals that he put some of the artists under,
Yeah.
it's just, how much do you need? Oh man, the music industry sucks when you learn that kind of stuff. But I don't know if the people who gave up half the publishing on the songs on A Little Late Enough, if they really gave up that much money. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think Sensible Shoes is bringing in 50 grand a year for anybody.
Yeah, I don't, it's not much mailbox money with that. Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
For copies of this book, you can go to Amazon or pick it up anywhere good books are sold. Please like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification bell. They really help the channel. Also, be sure to go to tbpcpodcast.com and click that PayPal button to donate. We'll see you next time.